Detroit, a city of industry, a city of dreams. But for young Ben Carson, it was a city of shadows. He was born into poverty, surrounded by hardship. The streets were tough. Opportunity felt scarce. Life was a constant struggle.
Ben lived in a small apartment with his mother and brother. The walls were bare. The furniture was old. It was a far cry from the lives of the children he saw on television. Those children had nice clothes and loving families. They went to good schools and had bright futures ahead of them. Ben longed for a different life. He wanted to escape the poverty and despair that surrounded him. He dreamed of a better future, a future where he could make a difference. But for a young black boy in 1960s Detroit, those dreams seemed impossible.
Despite the challenges, Ben had a spark within him, a flicker of hope. He was a quiet boy, often lost in thought. He loved to read, escaping into worlds far beyond his own. Books offered him a glimpse of a different life. They showed him that anything was possible.
At school, however, Ben struggled. He was placed in a special needs class. He was labeled as slow. The other children teased him. They called him names. Ben started to believe what they said about him. He felt trapped. But deep down, Ben knew he was capable of more. He had dreams. He wanted to be a doctor. He wanted to help people. He wanted to make his mother proud. But the path ahead seemed long and uncertain.
The weight of expectation pressed down on Ben's young shoulders. His mother, Sonia, worked tirelessly to provide for her sons. She cleaned houses. She cooked meals. She did whatever she could to make ends meet. Sonia carried the burden of their circumstances with quiet strength.
She never complained. She never gave up. Sonia instilled in Ben the importance of education. She knew it was their only way out. She told him that he could be anything he wanted to be. All he had to do was believe in himself. But believing in himself was easier said than done. Ben doubted his abilities. He compared himself to others and found himself lacking. The negative voices in his head were relentless. They told him he wasn't smart enough. They told him he would never amount to anything.
Sonia Carson refused to let her sons drown in the sea of negativity that surrounded them. She knew their potential. She saw the spark in Ben's eyes, even when he couldn't see it himself. She became his champion, his unwavering advocate.
Sonia made a life-changing decision. She limited their television time. She encouraged them to read. She instilled in them a love of learning. She told them stories of triumph over adversity. She planted seeds of hope in their young hearts. Sonia's love was a beacon of light in their lives. It was a source of strength and inspiration. She taught them that they were not defined by their circumstances. She taught them that they could overcome any obstacle if they set their minds to it.
Section 5. The Power of Education.
At first, I resisted my mother's demands. I would rather be outside playing with my friends.
But Sonia was persistent. She knew that education was the key to unlocking her son's potential. She knew that knowledge was power.
Slowly but surely, I began to embrace learning. I discovered the joy of exploring new worlds through books.
He devoured biographies of famous people. He delved into science and history. He realized that knowledge opened doors to endless possibilities.
As my academic performance improved, so too did my confidence. I began to believe in myself. I started to dream bigger dreams.
The negative voices that had haunted him for so long began to fade into the background. Section 6. A Glimmer of Hope.
My journey was far from over. I still faced prejudice and discrimination. I still encountered doubters and naysayers.
But he had found his footing. He had discovered the power of education. He had tasted the sweetness of success.
The seeds of greatness that my mother had planted in my heart were beginning to sprout.
Ben Carson was on a path to greatness. He would go on to become a world-renowned neurosurgeon, a best-selling author, and an inspiration to millions. But it all started with a mother's love, the power of education, and the unwavering belief that anything is possible. Section 1, A New World Opens.
The world of books became my escape, a sanctuary from the harsh realities of my surroundings. I devoured stories of adventure, history, and science, each page turning a new leaf in my young life.
With each book, Ben's perspective broadened, and he began to see beyond the confines of his neighborhood.
The written word held a certain magic for me. It transported me to different lands, introduced me to fascinating characters, and ignited within me a thirst for knowledge that I never knew I possessed.
He began to understand the power of words, their ability to inspire, to educate, and to transform. The more Ben read, the more he realized how much he didn't know.
My curiosity knew no bounds, and I approached each new book with an eager mind and a heart ready to absorb.
The library became his second home, a place where he could lose himself in the pages of countless volumes. This newfound love for learning wasn't just about escaping reality, it was about shaping a new one.
I started to apply the knowledge I gained from books to my schoolwork, and slowly but surely, my grades began to improve. I discovered a sense of accomplishment that had eluded me before.
The local library, once an intimidating building with towering shelves and hushed whispers, transformed into a haven for Ben. It became a place of solace, a refuge from the chaos and negativity that often swirled around him. The scent of old books, the gentle hum of turning pages, and the quiet concentration of fellow readers created an atmosphere of peace and possibility.
I would spend hours lost in the stacks, my fingers trailing along the spines of books, each title a promise of new adventures and discoveries. I felt a sense of belonging within those walls, surrounded by the accumulated knowledge and stories of humanity.
The librarians, with their kind smiles and gentle guidance, became his mentors, nurturing his love for reading and encouraging his intellectual exploration. They recognized the spark in Ben's eyes and saw a young mind eager to learn and grow. The library wasn't just a place to borrow books, it was a place where Ben could borrow dreams.
I would sit at the wooden tables, my notebook open, and imagine myself as the heroes I read about, explorers, scientists, and leaders who changed the world.
Education, Sonia often reminded her sons, was the key that could unlock any door. It was the one thing that could not be taken away, a valuable possession that would serve them throughout their lives. Ben, inspired by his mother's unwavering belief and fueled by his own growing thirst for knowledge, began to see the truth in her words.
I approached my studies with a newfound dedication, my determination fueled by a desire to prove myself, not to others, but to myself. I spent hours poring over my textbooks, no longer intimidated by the challenging concepts, but eager to unravel their complexities.
The more Ben learned, the more empowered he felt. Knowledge became his shield against the negativity and prejudice he encountered in the world outside his home and the library. He realized that education was not just about memorizing facts, but about understanding the world around him and his place in it.
With each passing day, my confidence grew alongside my knowledge. I started to participate more in class, no longer content to blend into the background. I asked questions, challenged assumptions, and discovered the power of my own voice.
Sonia, despite working tirelessly to keep a roof over their heads and food on the table, never wavered in her support for her son's education. She understood that their path to a better life lay not in the streets of Detroit, but in the pages of books and the pursuit of knowledge.
I would often work extra shifts, taking on any job I could find, to ensure that Ben and his brother had the resources they needed: new pencils, a quiet place to study, and the occasional treat that brightened their days.
Sonia's love was a constant in Ben's life, a source of strength and inspiration that fueled his determination to succeed. She instilled in him the values of hard work, perseverance, and self-belief, qualities that would serve him well in the years to come.
Ben, you are smart, you are capable, and you can achieve anything you set your mind to. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise.
Her words, spoken with such conviction and love, became his mantra, a guiding light in times of doubt. The transformation in Ben was remarkable. The once shy, withdrawn boy who struggled to keep up in class began to excel.
His classmates, who once teased and mocked him, watched in astonishment as he blossomed into a bright, articulate young man with a thirst for knowledge that seemed unquenchable.
Teachers, once accustomed to his quiet presence in the back of the classroom, took notice of his newfound confidence and eagerness to learn.
They began to call on him more frequently, and Ben, no longer afraid to share his thoughts and ideas, responded with insightful observations and a depth of understanding that belied his young age.
The world that had once seemed so limiting, so full of obstacles, began to open up for Ben. He realized that his mind was a powerful tool, one that he could use to shape his own destiny and break free from the cycle of poverty and despair that had ensnared so many around him.
Ben's journey was far from over, but he had found his footing, his path illuminated by the light of knowledge and the unwavering love of his mother.
He was no longer just surviving. He was thriving, embracing the challenges before him with a newfound sense of purpose and determination. With his academic successes came a newfound confidence that extended beyond the classroom.
Ben started to see himself differently, not just as a student, but as someone with the potential to make a real difference in the world.
His dreams, once distant whispers, began to take on a clarity and urgency that he couldn't ignore.
He joined the school debate team, his voice, once hesitant and unsure, now ringing with conviction as he articulated his arguments with passion and eloquence.
He discovered a love for music, his fingers finding solace and expression on the piano keys.
Ben's world expanded beyond the confines of textbooks and classrooms. He began to explore his community, volunteering at the local hospital, where he witnessed firsthand the power of medicine to heal and to offer hope.
He tutored younger students, sharing his love for learning and guiding them towards their own potential.
The seeds of compassion and empathy, planted by his mother and nurtured through his experiences, took root in Ben's heart.
He realized that his journey was not just about personal success, but about using his talents and opportunities to uplift others and make a positive impact on the world around him. One evening, while reading a biography of a renowned surgeon, a spark ignited within Ben.
He was captivated by the surgeon's skill and dedication to his patients.
In that moment, Ben knew he wanted to become a doctor.
The dream now burned brightly within him.
He spent hours researching medical schools, determined to make a difference.
As I prepared to graduate, excitement and trepidation washed over me. I had accomplished so much. The real journey was just beginning.
He applied to several universities, his heart set on Yale. The acceptance letter was a symbol of hope.
Leaving Detroit would be bittersweet. It was the city that had shaped me, but my destiny lay beyond its borders.
As he packed his bags, Ben felt he was on the precipice of something extraordinary. He was ready to embrace the unknown, guided by his mother's love.
The hallowed halls of Yale University stood in stark contrast to the familiar streets of Detroit. As a young black man from humble beginnings, I found myself surrounded by privilege and an unspoken expectation of excellence that both intimidated and inspired me.
The academic rigor was unlike anything Ben had experienced before. Professors spoke with authority, challenging students to think critically and to engage in intellectual discourse that often left Ben feeling lost and out of his depth.
I missed the familiar comfort of my mother's presence, her unwavering belief in me, a constant source of strength and encouragement. The weight of expectation, both my own and those of others who saw me as a symbol of hope and possibility, pressed down on me.
Yet, amidst the challenges, Ben discovered a resilience within himself that he hadn't known he possessed. He spent long hours in the library, poring over textbooks, determined to prove himself worthy of the opportunity that had been given to him. The student body at Yale was a microcosm of the world Ben was about to enter, a world of diversity, both in background and in perspective. He encountered students from wealthy families, their lives seemingly untouched by the struggles he had known since childhood.
I formed tentative friendships with fellow students who, like me, were navigating the challenges of a new environment and the pressure to succeed. We studied together, shared meals in the dining hall, and offered each other a sense of camaraderie amidst the often isolating experience of university life.
Yet there were times when Ben felt like an outsider, his experiences and perspectives setting him apart from the predominantly white, affluent student body. He encountered subtle forms of prejudice, a sense that some questioned his presence at Yale as if he didn't quite belong.
These encounters, while hurtful, only fueled my determination to succeed. I refused to be defined by the perceptions of others, choosing instead to focus on my studies, my goals, and the belief that I had earned my place at Yale through hard work and dedication.
Section 3, Doubts and Discoveries. As Ben delved deeper into his studies, he discovered a passion for science, particularly biology and chemistry. The intricacies of the human body fascinated him, and he spent hours in the laboratory conducting experiments and losing himself in the world of scientific inquiry.
I joined study groups, eager to engage with my peers and to learn from their perspectives. I discovered that collaboration, the sharing of ideas and knowledge, could be just as rewarding as solitary study.
Yet, despite his academic successes, doubts lingered in the back of Ben's mind. He questioned whether he had what it took to succeed in the highly competitive world of medicine. He wondered if his background, his lack of connections and financial resources would ultimately hold him back. These doubts, while unsettling, also served as a source of motivation.
I refused to allow fear to dictate my path. I embraced the challenges before me, knowing that each obstacle overcome would bring me one step closer to my dream of becoming a doctor.
Section 4, A Crisis of Confidence. One particularly challenging semester, Ben's grades began to slip. He struggled to keep up with the demanding workload, the pressure of his studies compounded by the social and cultural adjustments he was still making. For the first time since he had arrived at Yale, Ben felt a sense of despair, a fear that he might not succeed after all.
I withdrew from my friends, isolating myself in my dorm room. The once comforting presence of my textbooks now became a source of anxiety and self-doubt. I questioned my abilities, wondering if I had made a mistake in believing that I could compete at such a high level.
The thought of returning to Detroit, of facing his mother's disappointment and the judgment of those who had doubted him, filled him with a sense of shame and failure. He contemplated giving up, abandoning his dreams of becoming a doctor, and settling for a life that felt safe but unfulfilling. Section 5, The Defining Moment. One afternoon, as Ben wandered aimlessly through the university library, seeking solace in the familiar comfort of books but finding none, he stumbled upon a lecture being given by a renowned neurosurgeon, Dr. Alfred Waters.
The human brain is a marvel of complexity. The challenges and rewards of neurosurgery are immense, but the impact we can have on patients' lives is unparalleled.
Intrigued, Ben slipped into the back of the hall, captivated by Dr. Waters' eloquence, his passion for medicine, and his ability to explain complex medical concepts in a way that was both informative and inspiring. As he listened to Dr. Waters speak, a spark ignited within Ben. For the first time since arriving at Yale, Ben felt a sense of purpose, a clarity about his future that had eluded him amidst the challenges and self-doubt.
I approached Dr. Waters after the lecture, my heart pounding with a mix of nerves and excitement.
Dr. Waters, sensing Ben's sincerity and recognizing the spark of potential in his eyes, took the time to speak with him, answering his questions about medicine, offering encouragement, and sharing his own journey, which had been marked by its own share of challenges and triumphs. Section 6. A Mentor's Guidance. That chance encounter with Dr. Waters marked a turning point in Ben's life. Dr. Waters took him under his wing, becoming a mentor and a source of invaluable guidance.
Ben, I see something special in you. Come, shadow me at the hospital.
He provided Ben with first-hand experience in the operating room. Ben watched in awe as Dr. Waters performed complex surgeries.
Medicine is more than just science, Ben. It's about treating patients with compassion and respect.
Dr. Waters instilled in Ben a deep appreciation for the art of medicine. Section 7, Finding His Tribe. Inspired by Dr. Waters' mentorship and fueled by a renewed sense of purpose, Ben thrived at Yale. He excelled in his studies, his grades soaring as he approached his coursework with a newfound confidence and a genuine love for learning.
I finally feel like I belong here, like I'm part of something bigger.
He found solace and inspiration in the company of like-minded individuals, joining student organizations dedicated to promoting diversity in medicine, volunteering at free clinics in underserved communities, and using his voice to advocate for social justice.
My journey from Detroit to Yale has given me a unique perspective, one that others value and respect.
He discovered that his experiences, his journey from the streets of Detroit to the hallowed halls of Yale, had given him a unique perspective, one that was valued and respected by those who recognized the importance of empathy and compassion in the field of medicine. Ben's world expanded beyond the confines of textbooks and lecture halls. He explored the vibrant cultural scene of New Haven, attending concerts, visiting art museums, and engaging in thought-provoking discussions with students from a wide range of backgrounds. Section 8. The Power of Perseverance. Ben's journey through Yale was not without its challenges. He felt the sting of prejudice, subtle reminders that he was different. Moments of self-doubt threatened to overwhelm him, but Ben had learned the power of perseverance. He tasted the sweetness of success, proving his doubters wrong. His journey was about inspiring others, showing that anything is possible. Section 9, Eyes on the Prize. As Ben prepared to graduate from Yale, a sense of accomplishment washed over him. He had done it. He had overcome the odds, defied the expectations of those who had doubted him, and emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever to make a difference in the world.
The road ahead would be long and challenging, filled with its own set of obstacles and opportunities. But I was ready, armed with the knowledge, the skills, and the unwavering belief in myself that I would need to succeed.
The young boy from the streets of Detroit had blossomed into a brilliant young man, his heart filled with compassion, his mind sharp and focused, his eyes fixed firmly on the prize. A future where he could use his gifts to heal the sick, to inspire others, and to leave the world a better place than he had found it. Section 1. A new chapter begins. The acceptance letter to Johns Hopkins arrived on a crisp autumn day, mirroring Ben's ambition. Johns Hopkins, a beacon of medical excellence, was his dream nurtured from days in the Detroit Public Library.
I had come a long way from the uncertain boy at Yale, facing a world determined to limit my potential. Armed with a Yale degree and mentor support, I was ready for the next chapter.
The transition from Yale to Johns Hopkins was a stark reminder of real-world challenges. Section 2, the halls of Johns Hopkins. The air within Johns Hopkins vibrated with a palpable energy, a potent mix of cutting-edge technology, unwavering dedication, and the ever-present weight of human fragility. The hospital, a labyrinthine complex of interconnected buildings, hummed with a constant activity that mirrored the intricate workings of the human body.
As I navigated the bustling hallways, my senses were overwhelmed by the sights, sounds, and smells that defined this world of healing and heartbreak. I observed seasoned doctors making rounds, their faces etched with a mixture of compassion and weary determination, their voices hushed as they discussed diagnoses and treatment plans.
He witnessed the quiet heroism of nurses, their hands moving with practiced efficiency as they tended to the needs of patients, offering words of comfort and reassurance amidst the sterile surroundings. And he encountered patients from all walks of life, their faces reflecting a spectrum of emotions, fear, hope, resilience, as they battled illness and clung to the promise of healing.
The sheer volume of knowledge exchanged within those walls was staggering. I attended grand rounds where renowned physicians presented complex cases, their analyses sharp, their insights illuminating the intricate workings of the human body.
The demographics of Johns Hopkins, both in the patient population and among his fellow residents, differed vastly from the predominantly white, affluent environment he had encountered at Yale.
Here, I found myself treating patients from diverse socioeconomic backgrounds, their stories a testament to the realities of inequality and the persistent challenges faced by underserved communities.
He encountered patients who had delayed seeking medical attention due to lack of insurance or fear of deportation, their conditions often more advanced and complex as a result.
I witnessed firsthand the devastating impact of poverty, addiction, and violence on the health and well-being of individuals and families.
These experiences, while heartbreaking, ignited within Ben a fire to advocate for those whose voices were often unheard, to use his skills and his platform to address the systemic inequities that perpetuated health disparities.
I recognized that my journey, my ability to navigate different worlds, had given me a unique understanding of the complex interplay between social determinants and health outcomes.
He sought out opportunities to volunteer at free clinics in Baltimore's underserved neighborhoods, offering his time and skills to those who would otherwise go without adequate medical care. The residency program at Johns Hopkins was renowned for its rigor, a trial by fire designed to forge the best and brightest medical minds into skilled and compassionate physicians.
Alongside my fellow residents, I faced a grueling schedule that tested the limits of our physical and emotional endurance.
Days blurred into nights as they rotated through various specialties: surgery, internal medicine, pediatrics. Each rotation a crash course in the complexities of the human body and the art of diagnosis and treatment.
We attended lectures, participated in grand rounds, and spent countless hours studying medical textbooks and journals, our minds saturated with information.
Sleep became a luxury, often sacrificed in the pursuit of medical knowledge and the ever-present demands of patient care.
Meals were grabbed on the go, hurried affairs punctuated by discussions of patient cases and the latest medical research.
Through it all, Ben's determination never wavered.
I approached each challenge with the same focus and dedication that had propelled me from the streets of Detroit to the hallowed halls of Johns Hopkins.
The weight of responsibility pressed down on Ben's shoulders, heavier with each passing day.
I witnessed firsthand the fragility of life, the delicate balance between hope and despair.
The emotional toll of these experiences tested Ben's resilience in ways he had never anticipated.
I sought solace in quiet moments of reflection, finding comfort in my faith.
Ben, standing by the boy's bedside, felt a profound sense of helplessness wash over him. He had dedicated his life to healing, yet here he was, face to face with the brutal realities of a disease that defied even the most advanced medical interventions. In the quiet hours after the boy's passing, Ben retreated to the hospital chapel seeking solace. He questioned his purpose, his faith in a higher power seemingly unable to intervene. Despite our best efforts, the boy's condition deteriorated rapidly. The tumor, relentless in its growth, stole the boy's vision, speech, and breath. As Ben grappled with his grief and disillusionment, a conversation with a seasoned neurosurgeon, Dr. Eleanor Vance, offered a new perspective. Dr. Vance, known for her sharp intellect and her compassionate approach to medicine, had observed Ben's dedication to his patients and sensed his inner turmoil.
Medicine, for all its advancements, remains an imperfect science, a delicate dance between human knowledge and the mysteries of the human body.
She acknowledged the pain of losing a patient, the sense of helplessness that could accompany such profound loss.
But remember, Ben, the countless lives touched by the healing arts, the moments of triumph that punctuate the darkness, the privilege of accompanying patients and their families on their journeys, offering comfort, hope, and unwavering support.
Her words, spoken with quiet conviction and born of years of experience, resonated deeply with Ben. He realized that his role as a physician extended beyond the realm of cures and treatments. It encompassed the sacred space of human connection, the unwavering commitment to alleviating suffering, even in the face of insurmountable odds. Ben's talent and dedication did not go unnoticed. He excelled in his surgical rotations, his hands steady, his movements precise, his mind a sponge absorbing the intricacies of surgical techniques. He embraced the challenges of neurosurgery, drawn to the complexity of the human brain and the potential to restore function and improve lives through delicate surgical interventions.
Word of my surgical skills spread throughout the hospital, whispers of my meticulous attention to detail, my calm demeanor under pressure, and my ability to connect with patients on a human level, even amidst the sterile environment of the operating room.
He was invited to assist in increasingly complex surgeries, working alongside renowned surgeons who recognized his potential and nurtured his talents. He thrived in the high-pressure environment of the operating room, his focus unwavering, his movements a symphony of precision and grace. And as his reputation as a skilled and compassionate surgeon grew, so too did the hope he offered patients and their families. Hope for healing, hope for a second chance, hope for a brighter future. Section 9, Beyond the Operating Room. Ben's commitment to social justice ignited during his time at Yale.
His presence at Johns Hopkins symbolized hope for marginalized communities.
He mentored underprivileged youth, sharing his story and offering guidance.
He volunteered at free clinics, providing care to the underserved. He spoke out against health disparities, raising awareness about systemic inequities.
He challenged colleagues to see the human beings behind the medical charts. Section 1, A Test of Skill and Spirit. The operating room became Ben's proving ground.
Each surgery tested his abilities, pushing him to refine his craft.
He approached each procedure with controlled precision and surgical strategy.
The weight of responsibility sharpened his senses.
The surgical team moved with synchronized efficiency.
Each member knew their role, creating an environment where skill could flourish.
Section 2, The Price of Perfection. Ben's relentless pursuit of excellence, while admirable, came at a price.
He pushed himself relentlessly, often working long hours, sacrificing sleep and personal time in his quest to master his craft. The demands of his residency, the constant pressure to perform at the highest level, took a toll on his physical and emotional well-being.
He withdrew from social gatherings, his once easy laughter fading as the weight of responsibility settled upon him.
He missed the simple joys of life outside the hospital walls, a leisurely meal with friends, a phone call with his mother that wasn't rushed, the quiet solitude of a walk in the park.
He found himself haunted by doubts, questioning his abilities, wondering if he had what it took to succeed in the high-stakes world of neurosurgery.
The fear of failure, a constant companion, whispered in his ear, amplifying his insecurities and threatening to undermine his hard-won confidence.
His fellow residents, sensing his struggles, offered words of encouragement, reminding him to take breaks, to prioritize self-care, to remember that he was only human.
But Ben, driven by a deep-seated need to prove himself, often brushed aside their concerns, pushing forward with a single-minded determination that bordered on obsession. The pressure to perform, to live up to the expectations of my mentors and the hopes I carried for myself, began to manifest in subtle ways.
Ben, once known for his steady hand, found himself second-guessing his decisions, his movements losing their fluid grace as doubt crept in. Whispers of concern began to circulate among the surgical staff. Nurses noticed a tightness around his eyes, a tenseness in his shoulders that betrayed his inner turmoil. The case that would test Ben's resolve arrived on a day like any other, a whirlwind of admissions and diagnoses. A young woman barely out of her teens had been rushed to the emergency room after a horrific car accident.
I was called in to consult on the case, feeling a surge of adrenaline as I studied the x-rays. The images revealed a complex fracture in her spine, threatening to sever her spinal cord.
The surgical team understood the gravity of the situation, the weight of their responsibility pressing down on them. The surgery stretched on for hours, the air thick with tension, the only sounds the rhythmic beeping of monitors.
My hands moved with precision, fighting to repair the damage and offer her a chance at a future free from paralysis.
The operating room transformed into a battleground, the enemy an unseen force threatening the young woman on the table.
My surgical mask couldn't conceal the beads of sweat forming on my brow. I pushed back against panic, my training kicking in, racing through solutions.
He ordered blood transfusions, medications and oxygen to support her. The team debated the best course of action, weighing risks and benefits.
The minutes stretched into an eternity, each second precious, the outcome uncertain. Time seemed to both stand still and race forward with terrifying speed.
Ben, lost in the intricate dance of surgery, felt a surge of adrenaline as he made a critical decision, a calculated risk based on his knowledge and instincts.
He adjusted his approach, his movements becoming even more precise, his focus laser-like as he navigated the delicate terrain of the young woman's injured spine.
The surgical team, sensing the shift in his demeanor, responded in kind, their movements mirroring his own.
Every suture placed, every instrument passed carried the weight of life and death.
The rhythmic beeping of the monitors provided a constant backdrop to the unfolding drama.
Ben felt a surge of relief as the young woman's vital signs began to stabilize, the crisis abating.
The immediate threat to her life receded like a receding tide. The surgery, which had stretched on for what felt like an eternity, finally came to an end.
Ben, his scrubs soaked with perspiration, his body trembling with a mixture of adrenaline and fatigue, stepped back from the operating table.
He felt a wave of emotion wash over him, relief, gratitude, and a profound sense of humility.
He had stared into the abyss, felt the weight of another human being's life in his hands, and somehow managed to guide her back from the brink.
The surgical team exchanged weary smiles, a silent acknowledgement of the battle they had fought and won together.
Ben, his gaze lingering on the young woman, made a silent promise to honor the gift of life he had been entrusted to preserve.
This victory, this hard-won triumph over adversity, would forever be etched in his memory.
a testament to the power of human resilience and the unwavering spirit within them all.
The days following the surgery were a blur of recovery and reflection.
He visited the young woman, her face now flushed with the glow of returning health.
He monitored her progress, answered her questions, and offered words of encouragement.
He sought out the guidance of his mentors, sharing his experience and ultimate triumph.
They listened patiently, offering words of wisdom gleaned from their own journeys.
He reconnected with his fellow residents, the bonds forged in shared experience stronger than ever.
They celebrated their collective victory, shared stories, and reminded each other of the importance of laughter and camaraderie.
The young woman's surgery had been more than just a test of his skills. It had been a crucible, forging within him a newfound strength and deeper compassion.
Word of Ben's surgical skill and remarkable ability to salvage seemingly impossible cases spread through Johns Hopkins.
What began as hushed whispers among nurses and residents soon reached the ears of attending physicians.
He was sought out for consultations, his opinion valued, his insights sought after.
Ben, humbled by the attention, approached each new challenge with dedication and determination.
He saw each surgery as an opportunity to learn and refine his craft.
As his reputation grew, so did the hope he inspired in patients and their families.
Many who had been told to prepare for the worst found themselves placing their faith in the hands of a young surgeon who seemed to possess a touch of the extraordinary. Ben Carson's journey from the streets of Detroit to Johns Hopkins is a testament to the power of the human spirit.
He stands as a symbol of what is possible when raw talent meets unwavering determination.
His story resonates across racial, cultural, and socioeconomic divides, reminding us of our capacity for greatness.
He has become an inspiration to generations, a reminder that limitations are often self-imposed.
Ben's legacy extends far beyond the lives he has touched through his surgical skills.
His story is a powerful reminder that the pursuit of excellence, fueled by compassion, can change the world.
His journey has blossomed into a collective inspiration, igniting a fire in the hearts of those who dare to dream big. Central to Ben Carson's journey is the unwavering belief instilled in him by his mother, Sonia.
Sonia Carson, armed with fierce love and belief in education, challenged the limitations imposed by poverty and prejudice.
She understood that true success was measured by the realization of one's full potential.
Her legacy lives on in the countless lives she has touched through her son's story.
Ben Carson's story is a testament to the power of a mother's love and the enduring impact of belief.
Sonia Carson's belief in her son's potential serves as a timeless reminder to parents, educators, and mentors everywhere.
The power to ignite a child's imagination and nurture their dreams is a gift that knows no bounds. Reaching back, lifting up.
I have embraced my platform to lift up others and illuminate the path for those who follow.
Through the Ben Carson Reading Project, he has ignited a love of reading in countless children.
Literacy is the cornerstone of education, the foundation upon which dreams are built.
His philanthropic work extends beyond the written word, encompassing mentorship programs and scholarships.
True success is measured by the impact one has on the lives of others.
Ben Carson's commitment to reaching back and lifting up others is a testament to his character.
His deep-seated desire is to create a more equitable and just world for all.
And that global inspiration.
I have become a global ambassador for education, hard work, and the pursuit of excellence.
From Cairo to rural India, from Rio de Janeiro to South Africa, Ben Carson's story has touched countless lives.
My message of hope and resilience resonates deeply in communities grappling with poverty and inequality.
He is a living testament to the power of the human spirit to transcend circumstance.
The pursuit of excellence is a universal language.
Ben Carson's global impact is a testament to the power of storytelling and the transformative potential of a single individual. A timeless message.
My story has been told and retold, its power to inspire undiminished by time.
It resonates with the dreams we hold within our hearts, the belief that we too can achieve greatness.
My journey reminds us of our untapped potential, waiting to be unleashed.
His story is a testament to the transformative power of education and the enduring impact of a mother's love.
It is a story about overcoming adversity and embracing life's challenges.
The Ben Carson story is a timeless message that will continue to inspire generations to come. The journey continues.
My legacy is defined by the countless lives I have touched and the dreams I have ignited.
The boy who once struggled to find his place has become a beacon of hope.
My story continues to inspire generations to reach for their full potential.
Ben Carson's journey is a testament to the power of the human spirit to overcome adversity.
My story is a reminder that within each of us lies the capacity for extraordinary achievement.
The journey continues for all who dare to dream big and strive to make a positive difference.
My story is a beacon of hope, a reminder that anything is possible if we believe in ourselves.